Well, the stories run wild and the laughs come free, with the duck and an eagle shooting the breeze. From paintball fields to campfire fun, you know the rowdy talk's just begun. Now kick up your feet and pour a glass, we're about to have a blast. We're the rowdy ones, we're the rowdy ones, the rowdy ones.
Want to give the warmest of welcomes to my good friend Captain Jack of Blastcamp fame. You know, the reigning back-to-back semi-pro champions. Looking for them to sweep this entire year, and we have a lot to talk about as far as that goes. We just got back from practicing you guys out at your field, which you've made a bunch of improvements at too. You guys got a tournament coming up next weekend, so we have a ton to talk about tonight. But I'm just excited to have you here, man. I know I missed the one or two that you were able to come on with Hal, and I had a blast with you in our very first episode ever. You know, you were an inaugural guest. So always appreciate you having you on, and I appreciate your drive in paintball, your energy for it, and your passion for it. It's always on display, and that's rare, and I couldn't appreciate it more.
Well, thank you. That's a great introduction. I appreciate it.
You know, I work on them. By working on them, I mean I just say whatever comes to my mind right when we start. But
it was perfect. Great to be here. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Thanks for coming back on. We finally made it happen now that when we hop on, not in the trio and the solo like our debut, you know, I do miss the Pit Viper Jackson, though. I need to.
Yeah, I know.
I was wondering if you were going to pull out a special polo for me tonight, but
yeah. I know that one's on me.
You're turning into a leaf. You didn't even practice with a polo.
I know it's been a while since I've practiced in the polo, if I'm being honest.
Don't even tell me you're not sleeping in them anymore.
No, I am. Okay. I am. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. That's on lock, 100%.
My man sleeps with collars.
He keeps them popped, though, while he's asleep, just to stay stunting on fools, you know?
100%. 100%. Got to stay ready on that. Really, lately in the thrifting game, I've been finding some old soccer shirts or kits. A couple with some polos, couple without, but you know, we get them all. You know, for I think they're about $6, whatever I can find them for. So, yeah, that's kind of been lately. I've found a Real Madrid one, so I was like, yeah, I got to pick that up for.
I'm surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised those are in the thrift stores right now with the World Cup coming. But I guess before we start talking paintball, I'd like to hear what are your top 3 favorite polo finds ever from a thrift store?
Okay, so I'll start with an honorary mention. Was the Doritos one that I didn't get, that I think I sent a pic. I think I showed you and I showed Sam and all those guys. Didn't get that one, but I think top 3 has to be. Well, can the find be a gift that you gave me? Because the cash money one has to be up there.
I can allow that.
You'll allow it? I mean, it has to be up there. The cash money polo. I think the other one has to be the Real Madrid one. That one was up there. Soccer kit. I mean, it's got the actual buttons and the polo. And then let's go. God, the cash money one was great. The Real Madrid one was great, but I think the other one.
I know your best find ever, so I'm just waiting to see if you're gonna say
it has to be the special kids, special needs, and it's just like it was amazing. It was just sitting there when I picked it out on the needs or on the racks, and it's like I think it's just like a camp counselor kind of polo. I also found a Boy Scouts one. But it's like not the right material. It's kind of cotton. All these are like athletic fit. Like it's just like a perfect like golf shirt, you know?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that one has to be up there. But yeah, I think the cash money one didn't thrift that one though. Didn't find that one. One was very generously gifted to me.
And I just knew you needed it. I saw it and I was like, my man.
It's got to go in the arsenal. It's got to go in the arsenal. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, perfect.
Your special people, special needs is by far my favorite, you know?
Yeah, dude.
It fits you like a glove too.
I know.
But the Real Madrid, that's a cool one to have. You know, I was never really into soccer. I played when I was younger. But one time when we were over in Barcelona, a bunch of us on Heat, Sarge was nice enough to get us to a game. So we went to a Champions League game of Real Madrid versus Barcelona, and it was one of the cooler sporting events I've ever been to in my life. You know, Europeans know how to party at their sporting events for one thing, but you know, it's almost like one collective with their chants, the way they do it and how polarizing the rivalries are. And, you know, two good teams like that going at it was pretty crazy. You know, it was a barn burner. You know, we saw 3 goals scored in the game. So that is a barn burner for soccer, you know. It was a game, but literally every time like Messi would touch the ball, the stadium would go from like everyone in their weird long soccer scarves and like chants and stuff to it just was like a weird silence to Messi, and that would just build and echo throughout the whole stadium. It was a cool experience.
Dude, they really know how to. The fans really know how to interact over there. From like the big, I believe they're called like tifos, like just the huge posters, to like the flags, the scarves, the chants, like chants for every individual player on the team, and everybody knows it in the stadium, and it's just they go like stuff like that is really cool, and like you said for the World Cup, like that's gonna be insane. It's coming up quick, and I'm really excited to watch. And I never really played. I mean, I played back when I was, I don't know, really, really young, you know, just getting in.
When everyone's just kicking at each other's shins while the ball's in the middle.
Exactly. Like I have no idea what position we were playing or whatever, you know, everyone's trying to score a goal. And so, but watching it, I kind of feel almost like similar to like paintball, to where it is very like, there could be nothing happen. It could be a 5-on-5 game. There could be small moves, but it could be 5-on-5. There could be many small passes and many, you know, just kind of clearances and kind of good defense and nothing. It could be a 0-0 ball game, but it can just be so interesting to watch. And there's so many things going on, and so many strategic kind of moves. And you're right, when you see a good player out there like Messi, I mean, like some of these players in paintball that are really just like manipulating time, and really they're just creating their own game and going out there and playing it their way. It is really interesting to see how the greats like that kind of just play the game and go about it. And even with that, like I just think it's so interesting to watch. We went to a Chicago Fire game, well, maybe 2 years ago, last year maybe at some point, and 0-0 ball game, but I was intrigued the whole time, you know. No penalties or anything. It was just like a regular season game. But I was sitting there watching it, enjoying it.
It's so weird. That is a sport that actually does draws. You know?
Yeah. And for as big as it is, like I hate draws.
Yeah.
I hate even more a game getting decided by you know, the not penalty shots, but the kicks at the end. Because you're playing 90 minutes of like back and forth positional grind of a game. And those penalty shot type kicks are just like a goalie jumping one way and someone kicking it another. And I hate the dumb luck of like a major sport getting decided on it. You know, I don't like one-on-ones early in paintball for the same reason. I think team sports should be decided by teams, not individuals. Individuals in a team environment, yes, like people will always step up and do something. And I do like the feeling of having a whole team on your back, like that. Those are cool moments, but it kind of does a disservice to the rest of the game that's played in my mind.
Hold on, I got a timeout, because Jackson, you always have a new jersey hanging up behind you. What do we got up there tonight on your wall? What is that jersey?
Well, matter of fact, that's a Team USA jersey. That's from the year, that was from 2020 though, and we didn't play the tournament like that. We ended up not playing it in that jersey. But yeah, it was a Team USA jersey. I was fortunate enough to be on the U19 team for 2 years, but we only competed in one, and that was 2019. And so that's just kind of hanging up there. And yeah, I always kind of have new jerseys hanging up there too. There's a check behind that ironing board from 2018 Chicago. So
I have too many jerseys and boxes. I got to start pulling them out and appreciating them a little more.
Well, that's what I always like about Jackson. Anyone that's watching this, if you go back to any of the other ones, even with Virgil, like when Virgil's been on, Jackson's been on, like there's always a different jersey hanging up there, and I always find it fun. Just a little thing I always notice.
So that could have been just a easy transition. I don't know if that had to be a hard timeout, you know?
I gave it the timeout because I like it. I always notice it.
Well, I do have one more soccer thing to say then, you know. Might as well, since are we time back in?
Yeah.
Hit me with it. Give me an action or something.
Action.
Okay, perfect. So anyway, if you want to, if anyone out there, like, you don't have to be into soccer, but I'm going to give a recommendation for an older movie to get an idea of the culture of soccer, and that's Green Street Hooligans. It's just goes through like fandom can almost be like gangdom in soccer, and I think it gives you like that side of things, and it's a cool perspective for anyone. So that was it.
I will have to give that a watch. I've never seen that before, but you hear of some of these, like in some of these countries, like the soccer rivalries get really intense, you know, like, I mean, we're talking like, like
fights,
bad.
Like, this is the perfect movie for that.
Okay.
It's more about like the I forget what they're all called now. It's been probably a decade plus since I've seen it, but you know, whatever those, or I guess they're called hooligans. Yeah, the hooligans for the different teams. You know, it's about like them getting up and fighting the other hooligans for the other teams, and the whole movie is just kind of.
Oh, it's funny. Even now, day and age with social media, you'll see like at soccer stadiums, there'll be one guy go over and fight, and then the whole group of the other hooligans show up and start whooping his ass, and then his buddies come up, and it just becomes like a stadium brawl on the streets. Things people don't realize. I'm going to relate it to Euro Trip. When they walk into that bar, and they're like, "Who are you for?" And they're like, "Manchester." They're like, "Sing the song." That is real. Like the rivalry, it's like almost like gang style. Like, I mean, not with, you're probably not going to die from it, but maybe.
Yeah, some people die. Some people die in that all the time.
Some people die all the time. Riddle me that.
It means a lot of people aren't dying all the time, but some people are. Mark it.
There we go.
Man, the last time we were in Dublin, we were just seeing if there was any games happening in the stadium, thinking we go to a soccer game. We bought tickets, you know, to the only thing happening that day. We ended up going to the stadium, has 100,000 people in it. It's packed. And it was for a sport I never even heard of. It was called Gaelic football. And it was a combination of almost like soccer rugby. And it was like such a cool sporting experience. Same sort of, you know, European fandom vibe. But to have that many people watching a sport you'd never even seen before or heard of, it's like, it's real. It reminds you of like how many different paths in life there are that you can, you know, go and attack and that are cool and entertaining in their own right.
Well, that's like, have you ever heard of hurling?
Hurling?
No.
Hurling.
Like, I have, but I can't think of what it is right now.
It is like what lacrosse originated from, except they use a stick and it has a hook. It's like in a J, and it is violent. Of course, I know it. Irish to the core, baby. But like hurling is a crazy like Celtic sport. Like it's wild and it's violent, and it's not. I'd say it's a little more rough and tough than lacrosse, and those guys get down like it's hockey, right? Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about a stick that is like solid wood, and they're just working each other. It's rowdy. If you ever get the chance to watch hurling, watch hurling.
It's just cool to see what people can do when they like, you know, specialize themselves to one particular skill set for their entire lives. My cousin's daughter, she's a freshman at Auburn this year, and she throws javelin, and she just as a freshman like broke all of Auburn's records for javelin throwing and stuff. And so giving her a quick shout out, but like it's cool to see, like it's unheard of for like a freshman for one, but like you wonder what, you know, in 4 years what she's going to be doing in that, and and that's, you know, throwing a javelin, and like there's so many different outlets people can take and really like push your body to the, not to the limits, because I don't think there's necessarily like hard limits, but whatever you're like, your body's like predisposition to be good at certain things, and so is your mind, that you can like make that so like such a fine-tuned machine and really excel in those areas. That
Well, with javelin, they don't allow high school athletes to do it unless they've changed. But it used to be like when I was in school, you could only do that at the collegiate level because it was dangerous.
I mean, they definitely did it in high schools around us, but also, you know, we played tackle football starting at like 4 or 5 years old. So,
I mean, we did too in Texas. I mean, you want to talk about Friday Night Lights? I mean,
yeah. I mean, Western PA is known for football and wrestling, so I got you. I understand.
Yeah, but like at least in Texas, at my time, you weren't allowed to throw javelin until at the collegiate levels.
Man, what's your I'm gonna go favorite javelin scene in a movie? Okay, yeah, guys, remember Revenge of the Geeks?
Yes.
Anyone?
I have never seen that.
Oh, it's super old movie back when you could like have like kind of like rapey scenes in movies and stuff, and apparently that was okay. But there was this.
Say that. I'm gonna have to.
I said rapey, like a rapier with a sword.
Now I gotta edit all this out.
Well, why? Wouldn't it just be demonetized? We don't monetize it yet.
Algorithm.
It would just be demonetized.
Oh, the algorithm.
We're 16 minutes in. You're allowed to say rapies after 15. But anyway, back in a different time, we'll say, you know. But there's this.
There we go.
This in the one frat. There's this like the geek frat. There's this like gay black dude, and they had him throw the javelin, and he was doing horribly at it. So then they're like, no, we have to take advantage of your weak wrist. So the other dude like invented one that was all wobbly, and he'd like run up and throw it, and then he just would like sail it out of the stadium.
Oh, dude. I have no idea if people are throwing javelin in high school over here, to be honest. I have no idea. I've never even thought about javelin. I know the only thing that in track and field that I was like intrigued by was like the people that spin around really, really fast and then throw the
shot put and
shot put. I mean,
shot put.
That enough for me. I was like, yeah, I'm good. I don't know. I'd be dizzy after that.
I'd be totally all pukey for the rest of the day.
100%. Yeah.
The best is like, so in track, I ran the 2 mile, 1 mile, and I pole vaulted.
Bet you did.
I did. And once I got done running the 1 mile, 2 mile was first. So I'd run the 2 mile. As soon as I was done running the 2 mile, I'd jog over as my cool down and go straight to pole vaulting. And it was like, I was already warmed up at that point. I'm like, all right, let's go. It was fun.
Dude.
I like it. Yeah, sports are fun. But I guess we won't go on too far of a tangent. But before we get back to a little paintball, I just want to say, like, man, it's been, since last year that I've been out to Blastcamp. It's clearly evident how much work you guys have put in there. Your second tournament field, the turf looks great on it. You guys clearly put a lot of work into leveling that up and making when we went out this last weekend, we practiced on both fields. So, it was a good experience on both of them. So you guys, I assume, have been working on that for a while. And
oh yeah, so the second tournament field that started probably right before our first max event. So that was right after Tampa. So like March, April kind of area. And yeah, we put completely new turf on that, and we also put up new netting around there. The wind around here during the winter has been brutal. So also on our first pit, we had some stuff happen there with the canopies and everything, and all of that basically led us to do all of these repairs because I can tell you, me and my dad are definitely stressed out when there's any sort of wind, storm, really anything. And now that we have, some actual infrastructure, some actual pits, We have some good turf, and we have some good netting, good poles. We went with just like those metal poles were a little closer together, very similar. I think you see a lot of fields that are doing that now. It's really helping with the wind, and overall, yeah, just really trying to give our customers a better product. For the Max, a lot of wear and tear on the turf, in the pits. And at the end of the day, you want the people that come to support the players as well to have a good place to cheer their son on, to cheer their friends on, and stuff like that. So kind of looking at it from every aspect. There's definitely a lot of stuff to still work on, and there always is. And yeah, the next Max tournament is this weekend. And, this yesterday we started the process of laying down turf in the pits, of field 1. So, when you were there and for the last couple weeks, it's just been rock, but now we're, leveling that out, getting all that good.
I'll take the dry rock turf over when it used to be mucky. You went from mucky to dry rock, and now you have turf. It's just, always making the experience better for the customer while weatherproofing it so that, it's not going to be a disaster when you get a little bit of wind.
I know, man. That's really the hardest thing, has just been the weather, because that's really just stuff that's just out of our control. We really, we try to prepare for it as much as possible, but those canopies and netting. And so basically those are things that you need to have if you're going to run a tournament or just a day of play. And so just ensuring those things and really, tightening everything up and really bringing it to a really solid point. Everything has been really good. That's, like I said, since kind of been after Tampa all the way up until, yesterday, putting the last finishing touches on it this weekend before the Max, and, really just getting prepared as we can for the next couple of weeks after that for Ohio.
You guys have such a solid stable of Midwestern, talent and teams that come to your field, and you see that, growing in numbers all the time, but you also see it growing in capabilities. Like the same guys that, I watched at the beginning of last year are now much better than they were, and that level of competition, really raises it. And that's the things that allow you to, have a tournament series that then just exponentially increases the competition level around you and makes your field, a destination type of field. So, I wish you guys all the best and success in that. And I appreciate how much work you guys put into giving the customers such a great experience.
Thank you. Yeah, that, it means a lot. And, I think a lot of it to kind of get to that middle point, right? I think a lot of these teams really take advantage of, there's just a lot more days that you can play paintball now. I mean, we have the Wednesday nights, and, last year we did one Friday a month. This year we're doing 2 Fridays a month. Yep. And you see, Snafu, the team that we were kind of mixing in with, they'll have at least 5 guys there on a Wednesday, let alone a Friday when more people come out. And that just makes everyone better. That makes me better because now I'm playing against a team. That makes them better. That makes the people that just came out there on a random Friday night, having some more fun if they hop in with them or if they play against them.
They're good dudes too. It's like, you can tell that culture has been, cultivated properly at your field, because there's some fields you go to and the better teams or the teams that always show up, you have some jerks on the team and they push people away. But having a team like Snafu is such a benefit because they're so welcoming to other teams. You want to be around them. They're just good dudes, and that makes it a much nicer environment too. So credit to you guys, but also credit to, all the players that go there and treat it the right way.
Yeah, it's a great environment. I think, everybody loves coming there. And I think another thing about Blastcamp that's just so unique is the fact that there is kind of we're mostly a scenario field. And over the past maybe 4 or 5 years, I've transitioned into having majority of speedball, like I said, the Wednesdays, the Fridays, the Max events. So it has been a weird, not weird, but it's just interesting to see how there's people that come out and play paintball, and within their first 3 or 4 times playing paintball, they're playing with or against me, Ronnie, and these people that back when I was started playing, there was Badlands and there was like CPX, but like I never really played on a speedball field until like 4 or 5 years in, and let alone against like players of that caliber and everything. And so these people are really, they get an interesting look where they play scenario maybe a couple times, and then they walk past it and they go, oh, I'm gonna come here on a Wednesday, and next thing you know, they're playing with an entire D4 D5 team. They're playing with Ronnie, and it's just such, they get so many like aspects of the game and so many like just opportunities to play just, 5-on-5 out there in the woods, or they come out on a Wednesday and they're playing with complete randoms, or they come out on a max event and they see that there's like a tournament scene and there's an actual kind of competitive level and next level to this. So that just really gives everyone an opportunity. There's many people with the Fridays now that see it on Facebook, that come out, and we've never really had to like hand out rentals before a Friday. But now, like there was a group of, I think there was a group of maybe 5 or 6 guys. You could tell one of them had played before. He had his gun, brought out his buddies, and next thing you know, they're just playing 3-on-3 out there, like having the time of their life, awesome. Just like on a Friday night. And
yeah, it's important to have all those paths for a field. Too many fields like just get pigeonholed into this one style, but like you want to bring everyone in for whatever they want. Like you guys offer airsoft, and you have a ton of airsoft players there, rec players, scenario type players, and then the tournament style. But like any one of those people could transition to something else if it suits them, and having that all available in one place allows you to, grow a customer base as opposed to just like replacing it in and out always.
Oh yeah.
Well, I do want to dive into it. Speaking of Blastcamp, you're back with all the boys. Like,
not all the boys. I'm his boy, dude. Jeez.
Last weekend, the boys.
Back with his OG boys. Okay, I'll go there.
I know. I still
I know. We'll get into that. Calm down. No, but like, that was a weird off season, but I was, I'm bummed not to see you on the pro field, but I'm also really excited for you to have that brotherhood back every weekend. It's like where, you went back to your roots, and, what was it like transitioning, going, because you went from semi-pro to pro, then back to semi-pro to be back with the OG Blastcamp. What was that like, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I mean, I think it really is just a great opportunity that I really like. Last year, I don't know, there was never really the thought, or like last year I was really just taking everything in and really just trying to take advantage of every opportunity and soak everything in, because I was just surrounded by, people that have played the game for about how old I am, like that was such a unique opportunity. And now, like being a little bit older, like having a little bit more experience, understanding, I think, just like myself a little bit more and the dynamics and everything. It really was just an opportunity that like I couldn't really, like, I think everyone on the team had to say like, this is really what we want to do. And it helps that like my dad's involved. It helps that, I have just all of my close friends really around me that I really can lean on, because this is, the last 2 events have really been stuff that I've been missing, I guess, for the past like couple of years, because those years in semi-pro, I don't think like people really remember them. I think people remember us as just getting stomped on all the time, or what they believed was just being stomped on.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that like you guys weren't a relegated pro team either. You guys had a lot of close games against a lot of good teams. You beat good teams. Was the finish how you wanted? Of course not, but you were an early pro team, and I think you guys were growing into it. Like I play a lot of teams, and there's different levels. You expect to beat certain teams no matter what, but there's also teams that even though you expect to beat them, you're like, well, they're gonna, do something a little different at you. They're not gonna just sit back and take it. You guys always, played with a lot of vigor and excitement, and I enjoyed watching you guys play, and I'm excited to see you guys succeeding so early. But I think out of all that, one of the most interesting things for probably some of our listeners, but also for me, is what it's like and how hard it is to switch from that, just a teammate, giving input role to being a leadership role again, and how you approach that. Because I think it's very important to do it the right way. And I think teams go, how their leaders take them. So.
Yeah. I definitely, like looking back on it, I definitely have not been the best of leaders, but I think last year, that's something that I really learned from just soaking in everyone's experience, to a certain extent, back when we played semi-pro and pro, everyone knows Nathan. He's just a ball of energy, and I think there was a part of me that was kind of like, I would let him kind of take the leadership role, and he's a great person to do it, person with always energy and is always there. But you're right, this year without him, there was definitely a big shoes to fill, and with Soap, he was always a great leader and always just a guy that you could always lean on, and
miss that guy.
Yeah, same. So that's just a different kind of role for me to take on. And I just have to really challenge myself, because you're right. The leader does set the tone for everyone, and everyone follows in the exact footsteps. And, with that, there is really no, days where you can take off or you can kind of just be lax. You always have to hold yourself to a high standard, and
that's not just on the field. It's mentally always thinking about the positions other people are in, what they're thinking about, how to fix all these little problems while not letting it negative affect you on the field while you have your own things going on, right? These are all things that I think people don't consider in those roles.
Yeah, and I think you definitely going to this past weekend's practice, I think you definitely saw it firsthand. Admittedly, I was not having the best of days, and that gets to me. It's definitely hard to get out of that from like I said, being around people before that had the energy, had that leadership, and I didn't have to go, okay, I can't get down right now, or I can't get everyone else down. That's definitely a big learning curve, or just not learning curve, but just, steps that I'm taking to kind of to get better. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of my teammates, because it's I definitely hold myself to a standard that I think almost sometimes is a little too high, and then you get a little too hard on yourself, and next thing you know, you're actually just hurting yourself way more than you're benefiting anyone. And that's just something that, it's just trying to really work on myself, but I have to understand how it affects everyone, because like you said, the situation that I'm in is not really, it's a lot of responsibility, for anyone of any sport or of any group of anyone to really take on that role and make others better. That's what we're all trying to do. But at the end of the day, there is these people that you lean on, that you rely on to set the standard, and to just rely on, and at the end of the day, if you can't do that, you are, like you said, kind of just being negative towards everyone, or negatively affecting everyone.
But at the same time, it's just important to learn your strengths and weaknesses with that, because being a leader entails so many different things, and being able to delegate certain responsibilities, and just being open to everyone on your team and innately knowing them and letting them innately know you is such a huge step in that, because then it's not just seeing someone maybe lash out in a situation or get down. It's knowing the reasons behind it and knowing their personality and knowing what to expect. It's when someone does something unexpected that people really take notice to that, good or bad, right? It's when you aren't acting yourself that people will then kind of, see something they need to fix, or kind of sulk down to that. But when you're being your authentic self, there is room to play. A leader isn't like a cookie cutter one type design. There's plenty of ways to do it. So I mean, I've seen everyone's going to get frustrated at times, down at times. It's understanding when those things happen, like what you can do to be better yourself for everyone around you, because making them all 5% better is better than making you 20% better, right? It's just the way the math works out. But outside of that, it's honestly, like, from the first time I saw you, like you said, you had other people to take on the emotional or spiritual leadership. But even like before I knew you, I could see that you were more of the strategic and like put people in their place leader. You might not have been the rah-rah leader, but you still were a leader then. And I've seen you, and then getting to know you on our team was special for me. But then seeing you this year and watching a lot of your guys' games in person, and seeing you win in person in Tampa, and then watching you, on the webcast, like, I see you've grown so much in those 2 years, 3 years. There's always room to grow, but like you've already made a lot of growth, and then understanding what you want to work on next is the next step. So
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, thank you. I think a lot of that, from last year was, I owe a lot of it to you. I owe it a lot of it to to Mish, to all of these guys, to Ronnie. Like, all these guys really helped me last year. And even in times that it wasn't, just taking a step back and just soaking it up sometimes, and just really understanding and taking a very detailed look and just observing, like what these guys really do and how they go about their business, and how do they get themselves prepared, how do they lead, how do they deal with if they are having a bad day, how do they deal if they're playing good and someone else is playing bad, how do they uplift them, how do they do all this stuff. All of that, I think I attribute it to last year. And like you said, like, last week may have been, self-admittedly a really bad practice for myself. But at the same time, like, it's not like just linear, so like I can't just expect, out of those 2 years of growth, it wasn't just like this, like there was plenty of events where it's like, you're going up and then you go down, or you have 2 good events and then, you have a bad event, or you have a bad practice, like stuff like that. So, I know for me personally, in those moments where I do get down, or I do get down on myself, it's hard to think about that right there. It's hard to think about that and to really tell yourself, like, okay, this is like, we took 2 steps forward yesterday, today maybe just 1 step back, like, or even just in the grand scheme of a practice, like you're not going to, win every single point of practice. So you have to be like, okay, we had 2 good points. Let's take 1 step back right now and reassess, or just understand. But yeah, that's just personally not the easiest thing to do.
No, but that up and down nature of progression is a natural state of life. It's not just like that for individuals. It's like that for teams. Look at the stock market, right? Like on any day, it's up and down, but over the course of time, it's always on that upward trajectory. And I think one mistake that individuals and teams often make is trying to fix too many perceived issues all at once, or focusing too much energy on one small fraction of it, right? You always have to understand that, progression comes incrementally, and it comes through hard work and knowing what it is that needs to be worked on, because you can do a lot of work that's counterproductive, and just because you're working doesn't mean it's helping the situation, right? So it's being able to analyze and figure out where to put your efforts to make those incremental strides forward, that eventually, and then you'll make a mistake and take a dip down, but eventually you keep working on those things that you have singled out, and then eventually you look at the big picture, and it just looks like looks like it was a straightforward progression.
And
in the moment,
I do want to ask you. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I do want to ask you.
Oh, son of a.
I've got weird lag going on my side, so I'm sorry. I was like catching you at a pause, and then it wasn't actually a pause. I do want to ask you if it is okay, because I do think you're in a very interesting situation, Jackson, right? You playing with your OG boys coming from last year, where you were playing with Ronnie, Ryan, Mishka, Andy, right? And now you're back with the OG guys, right? Is there, and I don't think a lot of people get to experience that in the professional world a lot of times. And most of the time it's very few and far between when that happens. Is that like, how does it feel like when you're like, you hear that, hey, we're going to play these guys, and you're like, damn, this is the first season without them. And then they show up, and then you go to play them. Is that emotional? Is it like you're just happy to be there with them, and you're like, this is just more opportunities, just like last year that I get? Like, I was just kind of curious about that, because I think it's a very unique, and I think it's kind of a cool situation, to be honest. I mean, just because like you're all together, right? Like you're all together on the same field, even though you're playing against each other, you're sharing it with each other.
Yeah, it's definitely one, for the team. It was a great opportunity because we haven't really practiced any pro teams. So that was a great opportunity. And overall, just like you're right. Like, I think it is a little bit, at first it's a little bit like, I don't know, I guess I would just say like emotional, but at the same time it is like, okay, well, I just understand that these guys are just good paintball players. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that I think it just, understanding that right there in itself takes all the emotion away, because then you just understand that, okay, this is just going to get me better. Self-admittedly, definitely could be better at that, but at the same time, like, it's just a great opportunity to go out there and play like good paintball players. If you're looking at it from like the grand scheme of like our team and your guys' team, I thought it was exactly what both of our teams needed, because at the end of the day, like you guys said, we have gone the back-to-back, but like, we need the adversity. We needed, quite frankly, the first day, and I needed the first day of you guys just like beating up on us, and we need that adversity to come back from that, because the first event, Tampa, was, mercy rules or whatever. The second event was all adversity, and I think for you guys, just like getting that chemistry, and you could see that you guys are just building it throughout the entire weekend. Those last like 3 or 4 points were just absolutely like shut the door on us. Like it was good team paintball. You guys were shooting us off the break, and by the end of it, like, I think both teams got what they needed out of it. But I do think, yeah, you're right. Like 2 weeks ago or whenever we scheduled this, it is like, oh, okay. Yeah. This is like, this will be cool, but this is kind of just like, there's some feelings there.
Bittersweet.
I think that's a good word. Definitely.
Yeah.
I guess I'll give my perspective on that, because like, I've been on situations where, because like, it wasn't like one person was like cut last year and that was different. Like, our team was disbanded and then reformed differently, right? So it was kind of a unique situation. So never been cut from a team, but I've been on different teams, and I will say personally, I never really have hard feelings but there's no one that I would rather beat the absolute crap out of than my best friends, right? And people that I'm not longer with. That's just reality, right?
Competitiveness.
That's how I approach things. Now, with that said, I couldn't agree with Jackson more that this practice is what we both needed. Dover for us was such an embarrassment and such a underperformance. And when you have a situation like that, you have a lot to fix. So when he says like Saturday's what they needed, like if we would have had that day twice in a row, it wouldn't have been a good practice for us, because we needed the Sunday. We needed, to be splitting points, but go on, runs of losses, because what our team needs to do is needs to figure out, how to get on the same page fast and how to fix, stop something when it's going poorly and turn it around quicker, how to agree with each other, through when you have differing opinions on what's going wrong, how to get down to the root of the problem, how to attack that point, how to come to mutual agreements or mutual disagreements and still put yourselves in the best position as a team to move forward. So we needed that same adversary, we needed those issues, and you guys presented those with us on Sunday. And there were some moments that even got heated with us, and it wasn't out of disdain for anyone or any situation. It was because everyone on our team cares so much and wants to fix it so badly that sometimes, like I said earlier, it can be, trying to fix too much at once, but sometimes it could be just everyone trying to fix it their own way, as opposed to coming to the best way for our individual group of people. And I think, we worked through that, and we're the same way, to climb out of the rut we put ourselves in. We have to fix a lot of things, but we have to fix them slowly in the correct way so that we can build upon that and make it better. You can't fix so many problems all at once and expect perfection, expect what you're used to. You have to fix it the right way with good foundations so that you can move on to the next thing and then continue to build and grow and get better. Because I look at our team and, no matter what our ranking is this year, and no matter what place we got last event, I see plenty of talent to compete on the highest level in the pro league. Like, I think we could, fight to win any tournament with the talent that we have. We just can't underperform. So to do that, we have to get on the same page. To do that, you have to be, for one, ingrain the whole new dynamic of all these individuals into all these unique situations, and then figure out the best way to work forward for this group of individuals out of those situations. And you can't do that without being in that situation. So I think that was a good step. We started implementing a couple of things that we're going to work on that I think will build throughout the year and continue to, kind of exponentially increase our knowledge of what each other will do in moments. We don't all live around each other, right? So we have to make, we have to take advantage of all the time we have together, but we can't just play paintball and go, well, I played, 60 points with you this weekend. I should know exactly how you think and how you feel and what you're going to do in a situation. I should know your body language and your tone. It just doesn't come that fast. So you have to think of unique ways to build that faster. And I think we have a few, and we're implementing them. I'm not going to share exactly what they are, but I think they will reap rewards, and they will continue to build upon each other. So I'm excited for the rest of the year. I've been on, good and bad teams, more good than bad. But early in my career, I had some times, and I will tell you that it's a different feeling when you still know that you have the talent to win, and you just have to fix all these other things. And you just have to, get everyone on the same page on what needs to be fixed, and, get everyone confident in themselves and the people around them. And it's not like, when I say confidence, it's not just confidence in, oh, this person's good, or, oh, this should happen. But it's like, in this situation, I'm confident that I know how this person's thinking. Their body language is telling me what they're going to do in a few seconds, in a few minutes, and I can play off of that, because you can't just take a glance at someone and see them sitting inside and then turn and go, oh, they got this zone, right? Like, and you can't just talk, because not everyone hears. And I think I took it for granted on heat a lot because, a lot of these dudes I played with for over a decade, in, upwards of 15 tournaments a year, let alone all the practices with them. So we knew each other so innately that sometimes I think I forgot how hard it is, how much hard work it is to build the thing that I took for granted with some of the guys on the team. So now I'm, excited to partake on building it, but also finding ways to speed that process up.
Oh yeah. I'm doing it in Cincinnati. From the great cool run-ins, I'm going to bring to y'all in the next huddle.
I see pride. I see power. And I see a badass mother
who don't take crap off nobody.
You know what I see how? I see a lost little boy who's happy, should be happy to have a dad who cares for him. We used to do that. We used to do that chant all the time on Impact, especially, but on Heat.
I'm bringing it.
It's one of my favorite movies. It's the greatest bobsled movie ever made. So that's
might be the only one.
Mark it down. That doesn't matter. Semantics.
It's still the best. I'm bringing it. I'm bringing it to the huddle.
One night we were partying in Indianapolis, and Pat McAfee was out with us. Name drop. He wasn't quite as big as he is now. He was just a punter. And we were chanting that all night, and people were just looking at us like, who are you dudes? Why are you with him? Because he was like a king in Indy even back then as a punter. Like, why are you with him? And why are you guys all chanting cool runnings every time you take a shot?
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, that
Pat
night,
McAfee, wow.
Yeah, that night he got a little upset with me. He's like, hey, let's go out and play paintball tomorrow. And mind you, it's like 3 a.m. and we've been, partying. I was like, absolutely not. He's like, you won't play paintball with me? I was like, listen, Pat. I was like, this is like if a kid, like in high school, walked up to you when you were partying and you were going to be hungover the next day and challenged you on a pun off. He's like, dude, I'm a professional athlete. I'm like, it's the same thing.
Dude.
He understood. He's a cool dude.
Well, that's awesome.
So excited to see how successful he's been with everything too. So
he seems like a humble, fun person.
He's fun. I don't know where you got the humble part, but that's all right. He's a local Pittsburgh boy, born and bred. But he's fun. He's not humble, but like, man, it's hard to find a peak athlete that is truly humble. You can learn how to be humble, but it's a fine line that you have to cater to because you don't want to be humble at the expense of confidence, and sometimes you have to play with like, a little bit of cockiness too. People say like that's confidence, not cockiness, but sometimes you need cockiness. Sometimes you need to be angry. Sometimes you need that chip on your shoulder, and every, athlete who's great at a professional level in no matter what sport is not simply humble.
Yeah, there's got to be that like that little bit of like just like fuck you, I don't know. There's got to be that little bit is what I think just takes and a little bit something that from these last 2 tournaments that I've learned, as like we said, kind of the leader or just going through this process and like getting everyone's best game is like you really gotta be mentally prepared for that. And to go to Dover or to talk about that a little bit, like I don't know if we really were for that first day for the prelims. Really, I don't know if it was something with that layout. I mean, just the first day and the first set of prelims, like we're getting everyone's toughest game. They want to beat you, so you have to come out there and match that energy, if not more. And that the teams that you're playing shouldn't dictate that. You just have to understand that and come out with your best self. We lost the first game of the prelims in overtime, and every game after that was about a 1 or a 2 point game. Like those moments there's a couple moments in each game where you have to have, you can't be humble. You have to say, one of us is going to die, and it's going to be you, because it's not going to be me. Or there's those gunfight moments, or just those moments of pure, just like, I'm going to make something happen. And just having that sort of just like, I'm going to go do it right now, and that I do think is a big thing. And
it feels different when you know it's going to work too. It could be the same situation, but it feels different sometimes, and you want to just, have that certain feeling.
Yes. And ever since, like I said, last year, just, the confidence, I think is a huge thing. Confidence in yourself, belief in the team, belief in the system, belief in just the guy next to you, everything. Just belief that, like, when we show up to the tournament, believing that you're going to actually win the tournament is a huge, like, I don't know if a lot of people really have that outlook on it, or if people just don't truly believe that much, don't believe in themselves, don't believe, because I can tell you, yes, there's multiple times that, back in the day, I wasn't thinking like this, but there are those tournaments that you do win, you go back and you think about it, like there was a certain kind of just feeling, or just like there's the confidence, but then there's the belief in just everything is just kind of going our way, like everything is going to fall in our favor. And I think that's a big thing.
Yeah, I think there's a lot happening in the world that our few senses can't always tell too. And sometimes we get like a inkling of that other stuff, and that's what that is. And sometimes I think it's almost a level of arrogance. And I say that not in a bad way. Like, I say that in a necessary arrogance. And that's not just at a pro level. I think anyone who got to that level had to have that as a kid, because if you look at anything by the numbers, like, to think that you're going to be the one to end up in that spot, you have to be like, no, I'm going to be better than everyone, and be that 1%, be that 0.1%. And if you don't have that, arrogance and confidence and those different feelings and abilities at an early age, then you'll never get to that spot. And if you get to that spot, a little bit of that's still in you.
Yeah, I mean, there's been so many times that, like, you say, I play paintball to people, and people are just like, why, or just like, why, how are you going to do anything with that? And I haven't looked, I've just been straight on the straight and narrow, it's like, why? That's just, like you said, the arrogance of just like, I'm going to make it work, well, I love this shit. So like, I'm going to do it, and just having that kind of, it doesn't matter what other people are thinking or what other people say, or just like you said, that arrogance to just go, well, no, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to do this. I'm going to, this is going to be, I'm going to prove you wrong, or whatever it may be. I think that's been big. And I can't tell you how many people are just like, really, paintball? You're really, I don't know. It was big in high school. That's all I heard in high school. And now I'm like, okay.
So I'm gonna give a little pet peeve from that. What you just said kind of, sparked it in me. One thing I've noticed, I've been asked that question a lot. What do you do? Travel all around the world. People want to know. And I've seen people ask that question a lot because all my friends are paintball players. My pet peeve isn't how the people react to you answering. My pet peeve is how certain players answer, because you see a lot. Oh, I just play paintball. It's just a little this, or it's like they down talk it, or they like, put their tail between their legs. Be proud of what you do. We do it because it's fun, and we found a way to continue to do it. So it's like, and I was the same way. Like sometimes you're on a plane or something, and someone asks you, and you say paintball, and then they're like, oh, pinball or this or that, and like sometimes you're just like, yep. And you just let that go. Pinball. But like the truth of the matter is like we're all ambassadors for the thing that we love. So like when someone tells you that, be like, yeah, I play paintball. It's awesome. I compete at the highest level all around the world, doing the thing I love with all my best friends, and I figured out how to make it work. Right? That's a cool story. That's a story that people have more questions about and are more intrigued by, and that will go home later and look into and maybe play or have their kids play or tell their grandkids about it. But even if they don't, we have an interesting story because our lives are interesting, because we get to live as a child, right? You know, I listen to a lot of like comedians podcasts, and you hear them talk about like how unique their situation is, and it's our situation. You know, it's traveling around with your friends, doing the thing that you love, and not having a traditional lifestyle.
Well, you know, it's funny what you said, but you didn't say it specifically. We are so rich in life, and rich doesn't mean money, not to me. Being rich doesn't mean how much money you got in the bank account. My dad and I actually had this conversation right before I went to shower to go get on, to here tonight, because it was a funny instance. My boss gives me crap nonstop for taking off work when I have PTO and the hours and everything to do it. And he's like, geez, he goes, you're going all over the place. You're buying boats. You're doing this. You're doing that. And I'm like, he's like, are you like rich? And do I need to be treating you differently? He said that to me one day. And I go, Dean, I was like, I'm more rich than you will ever know. And I wasn't talking about money. I'm talking about the memories, the travel, the life, the friendships, the opportunities that I take a chance on. If it's last minute and it costs me $1,000 flight and I know it's going to be amazing, sign me up. I'll be there.
That man does need to treat you different, though.
Damn right. Yeah, I asked him today. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. We're going to put that on a shirt.
Dude, I agree. It'll definitely be one of our first merchandises available.
Hell yeah. And have like 6 shooters going out. But, it was funny. I asked today for some time off. And I was like, hey, I want to take my wife down to the ocean, take her fishing, take her out on the new boat, And he was like, he was giving me crap. And I just looked at him and I gave him crap back. I was like, I'm going. Like, I'm doing this. And, it's funny. Like, and that's the thing about paintball. Paintball makes you so rich in life, and not in the money sense, but in everything that it gives you.
Yeah, you're right. And every time, people ask me the what I do question when I'm traveling, I tell the good story of it. And the next question is always oh, do you make a lot of money doing that? And my answer is not as much money as I could have made doing 1,000 other things. And I still would have made the same decision 100 times out of 100, because everything else about it has been worth it for me.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, like without paintball, like I don't know what I would even see myself doing. Like, for example, like today, like I just set up layouts all day, like that was just like, it was just what I did today, and It's hot. I would do it again. I'm going to do it tomorrow, like, and it's like that stuff it's just like what we do, like it's just like, there are days where, like last weekend where it's just like, I'm kind of, maybe I'm not having the best day. I'm not playing the best, where it's just kind of like, you're going through the motions. But man, just like every other day that I can actually get out of my own head, I understand that like this, I would be nowhere else, like my entire life is like paintball. And I love that, I mean, like right here in front of me is just like a video to edit for paintball, like tomorrow I'll get to go in and probably just stake in more bunkers, zip tie some netting, like all this stuff that leads for just paintball in general, like for the people that come out and just play, like all these things add up, and it's just like my entire life. And it's just so like, I don't know where I would be without it,
what I have to say about those things that you're doing, it may feel monotonous, mundane, somewhere along those lines where you're like, I'm just going to go do it. But what you're doing, though, I'm always the kind of person that always finds the light in the darkness. Like, there's always, no matter how bad a situation or whatever it may be, there's something amazing that comes from it. What you're doing when you're doing those days where you're setting up 2 fields, putting new layouts down, zip tying your screens, you're creating a core memory for someone who's about to be there. You giving that opportunity to someone that had a horrible week and all they look forward to is coming to the paintball field, or they had the best point of their life that night on a field layout that you put down. You know, it can be anything, but you're creating a core memory. It might not be for you, but you're doing it for someone else. And I think that's amazing. And that's what I think paintball's about in general. I think it's not only the core memories we give ourselves, but what are the core memories we're giving to other people that we don't even know?
Yeah, that's a great point. And, you know, I think a lot of the stuff that I do, yeah, it is. There's just like, I got to give credit to everybody that just like works at a paintball field, you know, like, yeah. I mean, it is just, it is a lot of work, a lot of stuff that I think just goes unnoticed. But I also think that, like, you're right. Like, the amount of people that come out and like, I just described my situation. It's like, I'm playing all the time. Like, I want to take this far and be in this for a while. There's a lot of people that come out just to play once on a Saturday, you know, and just get out of the house. Most people, you're right. So, like, for those people, if they're trying to get out and they're trying to have fun, like, you got to give them the best possible experience that they can, you know, give them the opportunity to have that fun, you know, like, that's something, like I said, just these Wednesdays, man, like, there's not like a more fun day of paintball than like 8 o'clock. It's dark. There's like the peak of like, hey man, like, hey, yo, there's a little bit of a line. The points have been going for a while, and it's just like, yo, bro, like, you just want to play a point, you know, like, it, like, that is like the funnest, and most of that is people that just, they only come out on Wednesdays, or they usually play, you know, they got leftover paint from the weekend and stuff like that. Like, those are like really the moments that we live for, you know. What can I say?
And in my opinion, it's those people and those moments that can pull you out of a rut, because you should always keep like that at the front of your mind. It's like, sometimes you can be playing and, you know, you played a lot, your body's starting to get worn down, you're mentally drained a little, maybe you're playing not as good as you want to. But, you know, I had this conversation with Soap a lot last year. You know, halfway through Sundays, a lot of times he'd be like, you know, just thinking about the next day already and thinking about that. I was like, that's not going to make the next day change at all. All you're doing is taking away from the current moment that you're having, right? The moment that the people that you're talking about, you know, maybe come out once a month, maybe only get to come out for like a birthday party once a year, but spend their valuable free time and free money to do the thing that you're currently doing, right? So don't let your mind wander in those situations. Don't get down on it. Like, enjoy it. And, you know, like, I see someone like Alex Frey, you know, earlier in his career, he would be like that. And now you see him, he's always just like, man, I'm having a great time. I'm just playing paintball, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that he wants to lose or he's any less competitive. It means that, like, he understands that what we do is special, and it's not forever, and you never know the last time that you'll ever play. So it's like, take every moment and appreciate it and get the most out of it, right? So allow it to be your escape from your regular life. Allow the pain and suffering and the struggle and the fight in it to be what motivates you for it, knowing that, you know, other people, you know, are so pumped to just get out once a year and do what you're doing at that moment. So why pull yourself out of that situation and put yourself, you know, in a negative mood or thinking about work the next day or real life or a real issue? Instead, be like, no, this is my escape. This is what I love doing as a kid, and take it from that aspect. Because if you're doing that and having fun and staying focused, now you actually get to be so present that you can make those improvements and changes and be better and be on for yourself, be on for all the people around you, bring them up. And it's those little things about all sports, not just paintball, that make it so worthwhile and make, all the sacrifices, just worth it, because there is a benefit to it in life and health and happiness and mental strength. And it's, something, it's a unique opportunity that we shouldn't ever waste.
100%.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that's great, going into like this weekend with the Max, like this is a great time because I always love seeing, I mean, obviously I'm commentating and doing all that, but just seeing these tournaments from a third person perspective.
I don't want to cut you off too much, but before you say that, I do want to tell everyone, like, you guys have a great webcast for it. So please share
where can they find it,
where they can find it. And also, like, your commentating is fantastic. You have that,
love it.
You have that dry humor, but also the passion for the sport that, like, makes me enjoy listening to it, even if I don't care who's playing. So for anyone out there who wants to watch it, let them know
where can they find the Max events.
They can go to Facebook at the Mid-American X-Ball League. We will be live Saturday and Sunday. The games start, I believe, at 7:30 Central Standard Time. And yeah, I really appreciate that. We put in another camera, so we will have a Dorito side camera at this event.
Sick.
So we'll get you some Dorito guys some love over there.
I'm a both kind of guy, don't you?
I'm just saying. I feel like everybody. There's never a Dorito side camera, so
really
just
isn't.
in general, like we want to get something over there and show some love. And yeah, man, like my dad puts a lot of time and a lot of energy into this. He comes more from definitely a more, he's a musician, as you guys know, so he knows like the sound and the hooking up of all the technical stuff, the SDI cables, the Wi-Fi. He knows a lot of that stuff. I'm just the hands and the labor and wire and zip tie and stuff. And
the voice.
The voice, like
voice, baby.
He does all the hard stuff. He's the one that figures out the systems and all of that. And so, a huge shout out to him. He does a lot of that stuff. And then, like you said, I'm the voice. I'm the guy changing the cameras and everything. But yeah, we really, he's always trying to look at how to just give these people a better experience. Like we really have capped out at where we can't really add any more teams unless we get more land or we figure out some sort of way to get a third field, which is 100% like we're looking for it, but we just don't know when or if or how. So he's just trying to he wants to listen to the players and figure out more ways to get them. So if we can't have people there, if people can't come, at least they can watch it now. I think when we started the Max, it was a huge there wasn't many tournaments in the area. So he wanted to give the area a tournament, he wanted to give them these interesting things that we don't really see. We have a mini X out on the field now. We've had all sorts of special bunkers.
Mini X's are fantastic. I just love those things.
We just got brand new ones in for this season. And
they might not last the whole season because those seams were always rough. A lot of shots right into those corners.
Dude. A lot of seams on those things too, though.
Dude,
and that was just 100%. Always there's one specific spot they came apart at all the time, which is why.
I know, but I'm just saying it's a very long, multiple.
It's a weird one when you
if
really
he's
look
talking
at
about like the original mini X's. They weren't too long. They were like maybe I don't know, 4.5 feet tall, 2.5 feet wide, and like a foot.
I guess I'm thinking of the.
No, these were like the X's that stand up in the middle, but they were just little versions. Like picture version. Like
I'm thinking of the big
front down to small temple sized.
Thinking of the big,
but of the X though, so you can really rip all three, like left, right, top. They were fun. Yeah. They were hard for people to play tight because they were flat, Yeah. But people that could play them well, like they were hard to dig out.
I liked playing. I got to play this one place that doesn't exist anymore. I can't remember the name. It was over by the Gaylord in DFW. they had a Giant X and they would lay it down. Dude, you get lost in the sauce in them big things.
I was literally
Ryan's
just talking
like,
about
no.
that today, dude.
Ryan's like, no. His face was
I
like,
was just trying to think. I was sorry. I have expressions. I was just trying to think of what field you were talking about.
I was really talking about that today with somebody though, Hal. Somebody was like, "Oh, we need to get a big mini X or a big X,
a big mini X,
a big mini X."
It's like the medium version.
And then I was like, "Yeah, then we should lay it down." And I was like, "I don't know. You never know. Maybe sometime here at the Max, we'll see.
That'd
Maybe
be
next
sick.
year."
Dude, I'm gonna say this. I want to come out to Max event and
Let's
just come out and support y'all. And if you need spare, very horrible but maybe humorous commentator, let a brother know. I'll be out there.
Oh, dude, we'll get you in there. Don't you worry.
Ryan's gonna be like, "This is so awful for the Rowdy One's name."
I've found that the hardest to commentate is if I'm just up there by myself. So me and you just having a even if you just go, snafu crawling down the snake, we can make something work with that.
Yeah, well, then you
just having someone to banter with.
Yeah, you have the
100%.
banter, and then if I say something stupid, you can be like, "No, Hal, you're completely wrong."
Well, then I'd have to be there too, because
No, you're not there. You're not allowed. No, no, but you can make it like a show, a production, but that's your whole goal, right? Is to make a production, make it entertaining, make people feel, because since they're not there, but you are, make them feel what's going on. And I think that's the hardest thing about a good commentator, is someone that can make the audience feel like they're there watching it. It's bridging the gap of the digital video to where they're at, right? But I think you do a great job of that. I think you're really good. You're intelligent in paintball. You're fun to listen to. And you make it fun. And I think that's what's hard with a lot of commentating. So props to you.
Thank you. I mean, I really appreciate that. Like I said, I do put a lot of time and effort into this, and sometimes there are times when, you don't know what to say. You don't know. When in doubt, you just gotta go up there and just have some fun. There are times when it's later in the day and you're out of things to say, but that's when you just get a buddy up there and you just have some banter. This year we've had some sponsors. So we've had Carbon and just these other kind of sponsors, Overshooters, and then we have a tattoo studio, and so we have these guest commentators come up, and that has really helped me, just with being a little bit more prepared and knowing how to ask the questions and understand and get their brand out there and get what we do have kind of a mutual relationship here, with the Max and them. So we want to just have that integrated as seamlessly as possible and good for the viewer, good for them. And so that has really helped, and obviously just having a bunch of goofy guys out there, just hey, you need a commentator? Yeah, hop on up here,
And it's perfect because it breaks the monotony, not just for you who's been up there for 10 hours talking about the same layout, but for the viewer who's watching. You want different. I mean, that's why when you watch football, there's not one crew of announcers. There's a bunch of different crews, and there's color guys, and there's play-by-play guys, and you have to have all of that, or else it gets monotonous, because you're really explaining the same thing over and over again. So you have to find unique ways to do it, unique ways to get through your point across to different people and the way different people think, without being a face-to-face conversation where you can look at reactions, right? So it's all a guessing game. But I mean, you clearly have an artist mind, and that plays into artistry, whether you're writing or speaking for a living, or making videos, like Jay Frey vlogs. You make some great videos, and you write good clips for those, so how to get through to people. It's just being able to do it for the long haul in those days.
Yeah. And I will say, I want to give a shout out, like on your vlogs. If no one's checked his vlogs out, you 100% should. Jay Frey vlogs on YouTube. The monologue.
He's been really ripping them out for a long time too. Like I can't believe how many videos he has up.
I know, but the monologue on top of his artisticness, how he brings you in and draws you into the emotion of the videos, because there's always some kind of monologue in your videos, unless it's a short, like, of me having my barrel sock on and my gun's still off, but hell yeah, dude, I got in there. I got it all going. It was perfect. We made it happen.
Just how we drew it up.
I saw.
Did you shoot my
I
tank?
saw, and I wasn't even surprised.
There's a loud in that video. What was that?
I don't think. See, that's when I wear the Meta glasses. I've found that when I pull up off the brake, you hear my chin strap hitting on my tank.
Okay.
And I've gotten that so many times. I can't tell you how many clips it's like you got shot in the tank, or in that one, people think that I shot you in the tank.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm in my bunker going, Hal, just take your barrel cover off. You're good. I got you.
And I rip it off right there. It was good.
I know. And we won the point.
Go ahead. Yeah, no. And I ran down the field on the Dorito side that point.
That's
what
was saying,
funny
bro.
was
that was a perfect clip, though.
Oh, dude, it was hilarious. And what people couldn't hear before you said, Hal, just breathe. I was like, I ripped my barrel sock off. I run over there. And then I pull up to shoot, and then nothing's happening. I'm like, my gun's off. And you're like, it's okay, Hal. Just breathe. I was like, trying to get this thing on.
That's one thing I think I wish they implemented on the professional field and on that level for the webcast, is either miking up all players or zones on the field, because the intricacies and some of the funny conversations that happen on the field would give people a whole new perspective. And like when you're playing your best, you're basically joking out there half the time. You're having silly banter back and forth. You're making light of situations. You're calming people down. You're making them excited. And then like what people hear from the sidelines is just, 1, 3, 5, snake 1, kill 1. It's like, that's like a tenth of what's going on when communication's happening at its highest level. And so many of the small conversations get missed. And those are sometimes my favorite part of the sport. Like they make me laugh after the point. They make me calmer during the point, saying it and hearing the conversations, both, like either side of the conversation. It really has a calming effect and a confidence boosting effect, as well as like a happy memory effect. It's like good, fond things to look back on and joke about later that night. And those are all things that just build so much chemistry.
Well, yeah, and that's the funny thing. It was like a clip from between you and Ronnie, first practice y'all had, and first time the airs were out there getting used, and everyone's playing, and you and Ronnie, there's a little clip, and Ronnie's making the call, and you're like,
yeah, he called medic, which is like our gun down call.
Yeah.
He just had broken a ball in a 30-degree day. So
but he's like,
he called medic, and I was like, what's wrong? He's like, medic. I went, no. Like, is it bad? What do you need? You need something? He's like, no, just squeeze in real quick. I was like, okay, perfect.
But then he was like, he said something about like how the masks or the jerseys look. He was like,
he said I look good, but I already knew that.
Yeah, he was like,
tell me something I don't know, dude.
Calm down. No, but it's like those kind of deals, like,
People would think I was so gay if they listen. I'm just always calling all my boys babe out there, you know. Oh my god.
But I think
my wife would get jealous, but man, you're calling everyone babe.
Hey, but you're the special babe, you know.
Oh, she knows. She wouldn't get jealous. She's not a jealous type. She's too much like me.
That's a fact.
Good and bad.
But I think that is something where I think would make the sport more intriguing. People hear everybody laugh and joking during the middle of a point, and just share that camaraderie, bring people into the camaraderie.
And outside of all that, it just ups the understanding of what's actually going on the field.
Yeah, no, 100%.
People say paintball's confusing. Paintball's not confusing. It's just we don't get the full picture.
Yeah,
and you need the full picture for it to be clear. And the comms are a huge part of that picture, and they're a part that's missing from our broadcast.
I agree.
I loved even the mic'd up that they did, and they would show those in the commercial break, because that was a good balance of like on yours, like the strategic stuff, but then you also hear you like goofing off with the guys and saying just saying stuff to Soper. You said something, and I remember in the mic'd up, Soap's like, I don't know what my secondary is, or what should I do? It's like, dude, there's 30 seconds left. Stay alive, like little things like that where, those are the little conversations where you get a little bit of that, but then you also understand, just like any other mic'd up, it's like realizing that you're right there. Like every single second, these players aren't just out there just like 100% going about strategy and about this.
They're not robots.
They're interacting with their teammates, with the refs, with this guy, with that guy, and those are the things in a regular NFL game or something, like those mic'd up videos that come out after those little clips.
Videos to watch of games out there.
100%, dude. It's like, okay, so that's what was really going on, because you're getting a little bit of the picture, but really seeing that stuff, you'd catch
me lying to the other team all the time though, which way I was shooting and stuff.
Yeah.
Yosh,
I got a couple people like that this year already.
Hell yeah.
Yosh.
Hell yeah.
No, Yosh. Josh Lennart. Y'all, I think y'all both know him. Out there, always taking photos.
Yeah,
I know him back from. Well, no, I know. I call him Yosh. He's back from my DJing days. But he did a ref mic'd up series, and it was awesome. You get to hear refs, and it just needs to be part of the sport, because it is the sport.
Yeah. My dream for paintball would be that, we'd have cameras in our goggles. We'd be mic'd up. There'd be the normal broadcast like you have, but viewers would be able to, you're good. Me and Jack can handle this for a little bit. But if viewers could switch back and forth between what mic they were listening to, like in NASCAR, you can listen to I don't watch NASCAR, but I know from the broadcasting of it, you can listen to, the announcers, or you can get inside any of one of your favorite drivers' cars and listen to him talking back and forth with the pit. And if we could do that while switching cameras, you could watch the overhead, you could watch, your first person view, or then all of a sudden you see something's happening in the snake, you can go to that person's, and if we could do these on short delay, even, so you could have be able to fast forward and or rewind and fast forward at 15-second clips during the game. We just would have to play it on, even if the games were on a 5-minute delay, that's fine. You could broadcast on a 5-minute delay and allow all that to happen and create a better end user experience.
100%.
It's a lot easier to spend other people's money than your own. So
yeah. There's just a lot of things that do get missed. Just a lot of shots, a lot of kills that looking back, you're 100% right. Looking back on it, you can figure it out. Or I gotta give even the replay that they do on Go Sports. Once they give them a replay, or in between the points, some of those are good. If you just a little bit more time, and we could be watching insane replays.
That's why even if we keep doing split deck, we should just only broadcast one game, or have two sets of announcers, so that you're broadcasting both, but you're picking one or the other to watch. And that way, while the other team's playing, you're still having split deck, so The schedule stays the same. We're still getting through, our traveling circus in the 3 days that we're allotted to do it. But while the other team's playing, you're showing replays, you're breaking it down, you're telling a story, you're getting people more invested. And the only pushback I ever get, from the higher ups in the NXL about it is, well, it'd be boring when that next game was like a long point, right? And my retort to that would be, for one, if you watch like an NFL game, it's pretty boring when, there's a commercial break and then a kickoff and then a commercial break and then the end of the quarter and then a commercial break. And sometimes you don't watch anything in 10 minutes. But what we have the unique ability to do is we have another live game going on. So once you run out of replays, once you run out of stories, once you're done showing the stuff that's happening in the pits, and if that game's still going on, you go, oh, hey, we're going to go during this downtime, we're going to go into the live look at this other field. And you show the other game.
Yeah, exactly like they do in football, when somebody scores, you get we're going to Los Angeles.
Yeah, exactly like
in on this game.
And that doesn't change anything in the schedule. And you'd have to hire probably, really one more person, because the second field could be like the second announcing crew would just need one stable person, and you could always invite pro guests up for it. It would be the second one for a reason. Like, it's the teams that they have, all the analytics. It's the teams that don't get as many views, whatever. You can guarantee everyone like one on the main broadcast, and then anything after that, they're, probably going to be on the second broadcast. But it's like such a small expense for such like a big gain, in my opinion. That
agreed. I think that'd be great.
You're still muted, but what's that? I shouldn't have told you.
You shouldn't have told me. Shouldn't have told me at all. That'd have been hilarious. Everyone's just like, why is he not?
This is me and Jack were just nodding our head at you.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, dude, yeah. No, I know I hopped in at the end of it. But then also you're getting people to commit a fan base in some sense to these different divisions. And I think that...
No, we're only talking pro.
Wait, you're talking about... Oh, never mind. I hopped in way different than what y'all were thinking about that.
Yeah, you hopped in hot.
I was like, ready to go.
Hal, yeah. I'm still down with it, Hal. Whatever your idea is, I thought he was
talking about like divisionals, like someone was...
Not even close. Not even close.
Welcome to the rowdy ones. Welcome to the rowdy ones. Dude, that dog... Sorry. Doc got back from the vet yesterday. 30 pounds. Big boy. He's going to be a big boy.
But kind of a little boy. He's a little guy.
We've only had him for 8 weeks.
No, I get it.
Half of his life.
He's a big little boy.
This turd burglar.
It's a big mini X.
The big mini X.
Big mini X.
He's a big turd burglar. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, yeah. Dude, that dog's weird. He's got like stinky shoe fetish going on. Anytime you take your shoes off,
I must be in heaven with you.
No, dude, 100%. 100%. He'll go in, like, stick his nose in my shoes and then start carrying around. I'm like, dude, nobody needs that. I'm like, you don't need that for sure.
Don't you be nuzzling that wet nose up against me later. It's going to stink.
Oh, dude.
Oh, no, Hal.
Oh, yeah. You haven't seen Doc.
No, I don't believe so.
I've never seen him either. Oh, pictures, yeah.
I've literally brought him on the podcast. What are you talking about?
I've never got to scratch him. I never got to see him. I've seen him with my.
No, you gotta come out to Colorado. You gotta come out to Colorado this summer before we move and meet Doc.
Well, he's gonna be in Texas with you when you move.
That too.
So
he's gonna be a hell of a boat dog. I'm so stoked.
You're moving to Texas, Hal?
Tejas, baby. Coast.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
No. Yeah, we're the wife and I are gonna move to Texas. We're gonna sell our place up here and slide down and live the coast life.
How's been working the construction, update your place before you sell it life right now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
dude, it's been so bad. It's been so bad. We took the weekend before last, my buddy and I went to go tackle the bathroom. We're like, all right, we're going to have the old tub ripped out. We're going to slap the click and stick tub and surrounding in. You know, we might have to extend the pipe. No
Couple
big
days
deal.
before this, I was like, man, we're gonna rip all this out. It's like no work. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh, between Carl and I, we're gonna crush this shit.
He's like,
We
wait,
both got in there, and it was like we had the tub in after 24 working hours.
Yeah, after the second day, I was like, how you doing? He's like, not good. Not good.
Oh no!
So bad, dude. We were like, oh, let's shark bite this. We're going to shark bite that. We're going to extend the plumbing up, like whatever. Bro, shark bites were brand new shark bites were failing. And my buddy's like, here, I got you. I'm going to get it out and we're going to take it back because they're like $15, $20 a piece, depending on what you buy. And he goes to undo it and then drops it in the crawl space between the first and second floor. And I was like, he goes, I can't get it. He's like, we're not returning it. It lives here.
Doesn't sound like much of a crawl space, though.
We could have got in there. We'd have had to cut a damn hole in the floor. I was like, it's fine.
Not a crawl space. It's a sawzall place.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it was funny. And the best part was, what was it? After that happened, so we bought the tub and surrounding for like $800 is what I got it for. We go down. My buddy's like, I'll come with y'all. You know, we'll just have fun. We'll pick all the stuff up. So we get down there and the surrounding is too big. The surrounding is the walls that you put around it, right? And we get out to the truck and I'm like, and I have a roof rack for my fly rod vault. And I'm like, Carl, that's not going to fit. He's like, let's just take it off. It's held on by stainless steel bolts. So we get out of the parking lot and we go to start taking it off. I pull the tool bag out of my truck. We start taking it off. Like 3 of the bolts had pulled and torn the threads so the nuts wouldn't hook up when you go to unscrew it. So they were spinning. So I went into Lowe's 3 different times to get 3 different tools. I had to get a specific wrench that I didn't have in my tool bag. I had to get, the next trip was a vice grip. And then the last trip, we bought a hacksaw.
You didn't have a hacksaw, dude?
Not in my bag for my
Would it be prepared
truck.
with turkey?
Oh, dude. I was like, at this point, I was like, screw it. I was like, I'm buying a Sawzall. He's like, you already have one. I said, we're buying another one. And he's like, no, just buy a hacksaw. I'm like, those are stainless. He's like, it's fine. I'm like, okay. We doled the blade, hacksawing 1 bolt off that was stainless.
Been there.
And then, so he's like, well, you know, I've welded, fabricated, you know, and then I took it to get powder coated. So I spent 82 in metal, another like 200 in, you know, powder coating. Best part ever. We flip it upside down. We put everything in it. He's like, we'll just take it home. And I'm like, okay. So we go from Lowe's to Home Depot to pick up some other stuff they had that I wanted. And I was like, Carl, it ain't going to work, big dog. I was like, there ain't no way. We're going to have to leave this here. He's like, no. And then he looks at me once we start loading shit in, and he was like, you're going to have to leave it. And I was like, I'm going to have to leave it. So we ditched it behind some pallets at a Home Depot. And I was like, good knowing you.
Back for?
After that day,
never to be seen again.
No, a 4.5 hour trip down there, loading shit up, coming back, took 8 hours. So I was like, I'm over it. And that was how it all kicked off. And
that's how it kicked off.
It's how it kicked off. And it was a beating.
That's pretty good. Well, we'll probably be ending this pretty soon, but before Hal gets to some advice from you, let's try a new segment. You know, earlier I talked about that one pet peeve I've had. I want a pet peeve from everyone here. Anything in life, pet peeve.
Ooh,
I got another one, so I'll wait. I'll go last.
You already gave yours. No.
That was in the
No!
moment pet peeve. I want to give this pet peeve because I've had it for a while. It's just a plain pet peeve, you know. People always have them. Middle seat people get the armrest, which I think if that's the case, there should be extra armrests. Or the aisle in window who chose first should at least get the corner. But that's not my pet peeve. My pet peeve is the armrest in the window side. I'm a window sitter, right? Every other armrest you can put up. You can't put that up. So it takes away, 50% of the good wall I can lean on.
Yeah.
Right? And then
100%.
now I'm trying to lean against it. And
in
I'm
your
getting
ribs.
an armrest right in my ribs. And that's not cool. So my pet peeve is give me the little unlocker so I can lift that up and lean against the wall and create more space and make it a better riding experience, flying experience for everyone in my row. But no, they treat me like a child.
Fair enough. You're up, Jay.
Let's go. I would say pet peeve. Okay, so driving today. Okay, one is just the slow driver. Okay, I mean obviously, but like the super slow like turning corners person. Like when I'm behind them, I'm just like, okay, I'm just like, it just grinds my gears. It grills my cheese because I don't know. I'm just like I don't know. It just happened today. I'm just like. All right, I guess we're turning for like 20 seconds.
It's an unreasonable pace. It's not. You're not going slow and safe. You're being dangerous and unreasonable.
Yeah, like exactly. It's like unreasonable. I'm the only car within sight too. Like that. That's the one that'll get me.
I will.
Go ahead, Hal.
No, I was just gonna say I'm gonna let the cowboy redneck out in me. As we always said, squeal the tires and light the fires, baby. Take it when you're cornering.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know.
Accelerate at the apex of the turn. I was.
I'm like, I want to see you spinning when you're going.
Agreed. Paintball pet peeve, though. What I was gonna say was just
double pet peeve action. I like it.
Well, I was just gonna say, like the person, and I think this happened with Andy this weekend. Okay, and I'm just like,
you could be telling me anything now, and I'd be like, oh, this is gonna be good.
It was so. It just. I
got one about Andy to tell you after this.
I guess I don't know if this is like a pet peeve or if this is just a situation that I think was just like funny, which was like him and Vass, like they come out on the other side of the bunker, like they just shoot each other, and it's like, I shot you, and it's like, well, Vass, you're out. I don't know if Andy got hit or whatever, and they're yelling at each other, and then Andy turns around and he had a hit on his pack, and I was just like, I was like, it was so. I guess that was more so me. I was just like, oh, Andy, like that. Come on, you can't yell at him. I think you were hit at the beginning of the point. That's just one where I'm like, I try not to be like. There was a couple times where I was like yelling at Mish this weekend, but like if I'm in that situation, I'm not really the guy that's like saying a bunch of shit. But then as soon as he turned around, like the orange just on his pod, I had to say something. I was like, oh, Andy.
Yeah, that's pretty good. My funny Andy story. We were at NR practicing. I think it's irrelevant where we were. But I was watching on the sideline, and Andy's in like the 50 snake. We have a dude in the corner and like someone in the 3 to 50. And Andy's just like playing normally. And then all of a sudden, he thought he heard like something or someone telling him that they were in our corner. And I watched him turn full 180s around and almost shoot. And our corner guy almost shot him, and he almost shot our corner guy. And I was like, it was ridiculous. We still have a Dorito 50 alive. You guys are talking to each other. I was like, Andy, what were you doing? He's like, I thought I heard it. I went, and who's telling you that he's in your corner? How would he get to your corner and have anyone else alive on the field, Andy? And he's like, that's true. I don't know.
There was one point where we all saw he was like in the snake and he shot himself. And he was like, he's wiping it. He's like, guys, I shot myself. And then as he looked inside, he's like, he could tell it like hurt. He was like, yeah.
I didn't see that or hear about it, and that disappoints me.
Oh, that's fun.
I shot myself this weekend. after a point, I have this bad habit of, walking off the field, and I always will stick a finger in the barrel just to see if I need to squeegee, because I keep a clean squeegee in my pocket as my barrel condom. Oh yeah, this is how. Dude, I stick my finger. I'm about a knuckle and a half deep up in my barrel, loving it strong, and I feel it go off, and it hurts so bad because the tip of your finger bones are pretty sharp and pointy, and then like that meat's not much, right? And I feel my gun go off, and I'm like, oh no. And I just felt it hit the tip of this finger. And I pulled my finger, and like I was right in front of all your pit. And all your dudes are just like, well, that was so loud. And they see me like pulling my finger out of the barrel. And I thought I was going to pull it out, and it was going to be like a cigar or a gun barrel in like a Bugs Bunny. And it was just going to be all split. It's not too bad. It got bent. It got bent a little bit.
Oh boy.
But I was like, man, that hurt so bad. And then you just feel like an idiot. Like I was happy that people got to see it though.
Core memories for someone else. That's what you create.
I've done that now twice in my like 30 years of paintball, 29 years of paintball. And I still remember both times. That's how bad that hurts. So I highly recommend people not sticking their finger in the barrel and pulling the trigger.
See, that's funny you say that, because I have at least 2 or 3 videos out there of me with my barrel swab in my gun, and I turn my gun on and I just go and I pull up and I shoot in my barrel swab. And I know one of those was at night ball, and there's another one, and it's just like, yeah, man, it happens to the best of us,
And if I'm gonna have something like that happen, I want other people to get some enjoyment out of it.
100%.
Oh yeah,
100%. Me, as far as me, something I dealt with at work today. This is not as fun as y'all. Humility and onus. Like, people that won't take it, can't take it. Like, just can't freaking do it. Like, that is my biggest deal. I have a coworker who never does it. He's always right. And I'm just like, you don't have to be all right all the time. It's like, dude, it's just like, be a man about it.
There's a lot of carryover with that in sports too. So that's might not be fun, but it's pretty poignant.
Yeah. Because if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I tell people all the time, tell me I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll accept it. But it's like, I have a guy I work with. He just
I'm just never wrong. So I just don't ever get to, Nah, just kidding. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard admitting when you're wrong, Yeah. There was one point on the Dorito side this weekend. I thought I shot your one dude in the foot, and I kind of yelled at him. And he's like, I didn't. And then I looked, and I hit the strap, and I had to be like, yeah, you're right. And I'm a jerk. I didn't mean, sorry. I yelled at you. I was clearly wrong there.
Yeah. There was the one point where I think you came up and said you bounced me. And I was like, yeah, I know. So I was so like,
yeah.
You're like, so you don't want me to tell you?
I was on the sideline. Yeah, I was walking off the field, and you were on the net, and I was like, hey, you bounced me. You're like, yeah, I know. I was like, I'm fine. I just won't tell you anymore, dude. I saw you. Okay.
I was like, you got me, but I'm just going to walk away.
All right, dude. I won't tell you that.
No, I appreciate it. But those little moments, I'm like, I probably shouldn't have said it that way.
No, I know you enough where if I don't know you, you do something like that, I'm like, that dude's a jerk, whatever. But like, I know you, so that just made me laugh more. I was like, oh, you're just frustrated, And then I got to laugh about it later. Ronnie's like, oh, I heard you, Jackson. Yeah, it's funny, right?
I was not laughing like this. Let's just say that.
No, it's easier
but
to
now I can.
Yeah,
right. Now I can.
Time has passed, and it's funny now. So I have to say this. Let me know the schedule for July Friday night paintball. I'm going to come out because I'm bummed, and I was butthurt. A little upset with you, but you're still my brother from another mother. You didn't show up to Legacy.
Well, you are an emotional guy, though,
Hey, shut up from the peanut gallery.
You're right, Hal. You're right.
But
I apologize.
It's all right. And no, it's all good. But we're going to do it even better. Let's get in 2.5 good days of paintball. I want to come out for Friday night and play Saturday, Sunday. You, me, Ronnie, get La Papa. Who knows? Maybe we call up Sopa Dope and say, yo, you coming out?
I bet he's mountain manning it so hard.
He probably is. He's burning something down, cutting down a tree. He's doing something.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
ripping lips, fishing as much as he can.
Get Big Papa out there, and let's just go run it up for a weekend. Let's go have some fun.
I'm 100% in.
Dude, let's do it.
I'm sorry I missed the last one. You know, I apologize. But that does sound good. And Nightball, dude. Get ready for some Nightball, bro. That's some good stuff.
Dude, I'm down to clown. And hopefully I'll have my Timmy. I've been so busy I hadn't even been able to try and fix my Timmy. I'm sure you didn't hear about. Did you hear about that at Legacy?
He was so excited.
What happened?
To get this thing back.
Had it. I took it out. I made a video, posted it on the Rowdy Ones, ripping and gripping. Everything was dialed. I flew it to Chicago. We get it out there, putting it all together, freaking excited and ready to go. We go over to the shooting range at Legacy, and we start ripping it. It's ripping, but at a very low velocity.
It's not ripping. It's shooting like 180. The thing broke instantly on them, and then it started leaking because they tried cranking.
Shut up! This ain't your story.
Well, you told the story on the last episode, so we don't need to tell the whole story again.
I'm telling it to Jay. Like,
tell it to Jay after the episode.
And now it doesn't work at all?
Oh, I went on the field. Ronnie cranked the front block down.
Yeah, they blew some hoses.
Blew off a hose. And then I get on the field, and Ronnie's like, just put air to it and take a shot. It might stop leaking. I'm out there first point. I go to frickin'. I'm like, it's leaking. And I'm like, telling the ref, I'm like, hey, can we get this thing going? Because it's just leaking air. He's like, hold on. And I'm like, all right. I was like, I'm going to do what Ronnie says and put some rounds through it. I'm like, bop, 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 bop. And this thing just goes. And I was like,
God,
it's done. I get home. It's leaking from the front block 2 O-rings. We had a bar blown off. Like, it was a mess. And so, yeah, I think the front block loosened and nicked those two O-rings in the front block when it was moving, because it would move a lot. So, and then we blew a hose, which I think we overpressured the front block. So,
you think?
No, I do.
Obviously.
Oh, boy. Dude, you've been waiting so long for this, Timmy. Man. We got to get you shooting this thing.
I know.
Nah, dude. He's just got to hang that boy up.
No. Spent way too much money on this fucking thing. Anyways, Jackson, before we end it, as always, what is some life advice you want to throw out?
Oh, boy.
Don't overpressure your Timmy.
Don't blow your front block.
Tighten your front block properly.
Hey, I didn't do it. Tell Ron.
Oh, no. I'll keep it pretty simple on this one. I think like I said, I think just be positive, and don't get too down on yourself. Don't get too in your head. Because you're right. You're not going to get these moments back. Don't be overthinking, exactly like the soap thing, Don't be overthinking about tomorrow, because you're just taking away from today and from right now. And, I think that's big. And, I think that's a good one. Kind of took that one from Ryan, but still, I think it really resonates with me right now, and I think it resonates with everybody at some point. So, I would go with that one.
I dig it. Well, thank you so much for coming on, man. I always love catching up with you. It was great getting to play against you all weekend and just see you and give you a hug. But it was nice being able to actually sit down and have a conversation that's longer than 2 minutes with you. So appreciate you making time for us.
Well, what is this? 5th episode with you? 4th or 5th?
We're getting up there, man.
Yeah,
we'll be back for 6 in no time.
He's an honorary Rowdy one.
Oh, no, he is a Rowdy one. There's no honorary. You're a rowdy one, big dog. So with that being said, like Ryan said, thank you so much for carving out time. Really excited to watch y'all at Cincy. And I'm going to put it out there. I'm really excited to see y'all on the pro field next year because I believe y'all have what it takes.
Well, obviously they were a pro team. And they're better now than they were.
I'm trying to be nice over here, like forecast the future, and Ryan's
like, my shot. They're sweeping this year, but they still got to make it happen. But that's my shot.
A lot of paintball to be played, man, and I'm just grateful to be a part of it.
Amen
so,
to that.
And I appreciate you guys, man. Like for real. This is awesome. Like I said, 5 or 4 or 5, however many it's been, man. I'm looking forward to the next one. So
well. And I've got to give a shout out to Big Verge. Love ya, and hope he's doing well. I know he'll probably listen to this. So
I wore my Blastcamp Houston Heat shirt I had from last year. He was stoked. I love Big Verge.
Dude, Big Verge is the bomb.com. And with that being said, make sure to go check out Jay Frey Vlogs on YouTube. Make sure to check out Jackson Frey on Instagram. And also, be sure to tune in to the Max event coming up this weekend. Jay Frey, give them one last time. Where's it at? Where can they find it?
Mid-American X-Ball League on Facebook. We'll be going live probably around 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is going to be all D4, and then Sunday is going to be D5 and D3. So all sorts of paintball. I'll be with a lot of guest commentators, a lot of people, and it should be a fun weekend.
Hell yeah. So everybody tune into there. If you heard it and you come to watch it from here, leave them a comment. Go Rowdy Ones on there. Let them know. And
let me know in the comments. I'll be reading them all day.
Yeah, I always pop in there and say hi, and then you're always like, hell yeah. So
hell yeah.
Anyways, with that being said, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We love you guys, Jackson. We love you. And we will catch everybody in the next one. Peace.
Well, the whiskey's low and the story's all done, but we sure had ourselves some fun. From tall tales told to the last good pun, you've been rolling with the Rowdy Ones. Thanks for listening, y'all.